Themes that are highly featured in Dolores Oldjohn's latest children's book titled Be Amazing. Now, the book was illustrated by Julia Sneden, contains a collection of new stories that aim to teach children some of the important values and virtues, as well as help them build a positive character that will help and empower them as they progress in life. Now, Dolores joins me in studio to tell us more about this amazing book. A very good morning to you, Dolores. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning to you too, and thank you for having me.
Indeed. Now, what inspired you to write this book?
Young kids seem so bereft of values, and that birthed the Be Amazing.
Yeah.
Be Amazing wasn't actually planned.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's something that was so spontaneous because my youngest daughter had a problem with her speech. And after 3 years of this demanding, debilitating appointments with a speech therapist, I found myself looking for words for her, searching for words everywhere because I needed to fill the gap of what she missed in her formative years. And at the same time, I needed to make sure that she doesn't miss out on the current age. So it was tough, it was challenging, and words progressed into sentences, sentences progressed into short stories. And before I knew it, I had more than 60 stories.
Wow.
And both my kids loved the stories, and I encouraged them to share the stories with the kids in the complex, their friends at school. And as they know, the rest is history. The kids loved the stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, by talking, I could pick already that you are such a loving mother of two who seeks to build and inspire and change little minds.
Yes.
Well, this seems like an uphill battle, but then you seem to manage it with effortlessly. How do you manage to do that?
I don't know, hey? I think I'm generally quite deep. That's what everybody seems to say. So these topics were quite easy also because I talk about these things every day.
Yeah.
Because I think I was a late bloomer myself. So I only learned about all these, how to have a good attitude, that it will actually make you a better person eventually. I only learned about these things late. So I want to make sure that the kids doesn't learn later, actually. So hence I decided that every day I make it a topic that I talk about these things with my kids. I encourage my nieces and nephews. Everybody around me knows this is the topics that I talk about all the time. Yes.
In one of the chapters, you talk about to err is human and to forgive is divine. Gosh, if people could embrace this school of thought, now the world could definitely be a better place.
And to be quite honest, you know, this is something that I just mastered recently. I couldn't forgive at all. I couldn't. Because, you know, sometimes we say, forgive someone, but I couldn't forget.
Sure.
Yes. So it took me a long time. And I realized that as I forgive this particular person, things started to blossom in my life. So hence I needed to share with everybody that, you know, sometimes we say we forgive, but we actually don't mean it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I actually love the fact that you are admitting that you couldn't forgive. You know, the first step of conquering something is to actually admit that the problem actually exists. Now, how closely did you have to work with Julia Sneden?
In actual fact, we've never met.
How?
Yep. We've never met, and I don't know how I even got to her, because I think somehow the universe was aligned with this whole thing, because I looked for many illustrators, but there was this thing about this woman, and I decided to contact her, and we worked so well together. We still, in actual fact, we are busy with my current book.
But then how did you make sure that your vision for this book actually matches hers?
In actual fact, I drew the illustrations myself. I told her my vision.
Okay.
Yes. From the inception, when I penned down this book, because I actually used the pen, and I drew the illustrations, so she knew exactly what I wanted out of it. Now, and yeah, she brought it to life.
Talk to us about the stories that are contained in this book and how you're hoping children, you know, will receive and apply their knowledge into it.
You know, kids are very easy. Kids just want to have fun. They just want to be encouraged. They just want to be loved. And I think we need to start them young by these stories, because I packaged this book so that we start a conversation. Hence, I also have a video clip particularly for parents, so that once they get to know what the book is all about and they purchase this book, and then the children knows the children read the book, so you can imagine the conversation start. Because it's not easy. It wasn't easy also for me to start a conversation. You see there's another story called Letting Go.
Yeah, Letting Go, yes.
I think when my eldest daughter was in grade 4, we had to move houses, and it actually made sense for her to change schools. But she was hearing none of it because she didn't want to lose the friends that she has. And I mean, friendship is very important these days, I understand. But it made sense, but my husband was not in my corner, so I lost that one. Guess what happened 6 months later? Two of her best friends, one relocated to Mpumalanga, one went to Pretoria. So I had to pick up the pieces because she couldn't understand why she made a decision not to change schools because of them, but now they're leaving her. Wow. And these are the conversations that we don't talk about because we wait for something wrong to happen before we have a conversation. Yes, same goes with attitude. Now your child comes back, now you suddenly want to start telling them about how good it is to have a good attitude, why are they behaving this way, but you never actually talk about these things. Yes, so I wanted to open that conversation with parents.
And actually these themes will be a brilliant yardstick to build better people tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
Dolores, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that was mother and author Dolores Oldjohn speaking to us about her latest book that's entitled Be Amazing. Now, a children's book that seeks to eliminate ignorance in our country and empower the kids of tomorrow accordingly. Well, do join us after the break for more on this and other stories.